Let's talk some football. Welcome to CBS Sports HQ NFL analyst Ryan Wilson. Start in Chicago, and when the Bears signed Andy Dalton to a one-year deal in the offseason, they reportedly promised him that he would start the season as the starting quarterback. On Saturday, head coach Matt Nagy making it official. Take a listen.
We got to be able to see what can Andy do during the season with this team and with these guys. That has been our plan this whole entire time. At the same point in time, we also need to evaluate and see where Justin's at and what he can do. And again, he's doing everything that we're asking him to do. He's doing great. So I think it's a good situation for us, and I truly understand the I don't know what the word would be, but the want for people to want to see more Justin and all that. I get that, but we also understand where we're at and what the true plan is, and all we can do is ask Justin to keep playing, and he's doing it, and Andy to keep playing, and Nick to keep playing.
All right, so there you have it. Dalton will start week 1 on Sunday night on the road against the Rams, but it's only a matter of time before rookie Justin Fields takes over. Sportsline released odds for when Justin Fields gets his first NFL regular season start, non-injury reasons. Weeks 1 through 3 plus 400, weeks 4 through 6 even, weeks 7 through 9 plus 250. Ryan, when do you think Fields makes his first regular season start?
The word that Matt Nagy was searching for there is frustrated. Bears fans are frustrated because there's not a whole lot to learn about Andy Dalton. We saw Andy Dalton for the last 10 years. We know who he is. Justin Fields brings some excitement. So when might we see him, Akeem? So week 2 is when you should circle your calendar, because it sounds like no matter what, week 1, Andy Dalton will be out there. Week 2, it's the Cincinnati Bengals, so there's some Andy Dalton revenge game there, perhaps. Although if you get blown out in week 1, Justin Fields might be there in week 2. There's also week 4 with the Detroit Lions, and they have a tough stretch after that before they get to their bye week. So I'm going to go week 4. I think week 4 is we're going to see him. Detroit Lions are not a good football team. They struggled mightily against the Steelers in the preseason game tonight. So I think week 4 is where you circle the calendar. Week 2 perhaps, but I think Andy Dalton gets a little more time. And I think what happens is that Matt Nagy and General Manager Ryan Pace realize that their jobs are on the line by the time they get to week 4, and that's when Justin Fields makes his debut.
Even odds there to go make a start weeks 4 through 6. Interesting also, you got Detroit in week 4, so that might be a nice game to roll out the rookie, right? All right, number 2 overall pick, Zach Wilson, starting right away. He'll face former Jets quarterback Sam Darnold and the Panthers on the road in week 1. Second preseason game, Zach Wilson efficient, 9 of 11, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Jets head coach Robert Saleh said, quote, "I thought he had good command," end quote. Ryan, how did Zach Wilson look to you against the Packers? You look great. How did Zach Wilson look against the Packers?
The handsomer, younger Wilson had a fantastic evening for sure, yeah. 9-11, 128, you see that there. He had 2 touchdown passes. And that's coming off a performance last week where he played 2 series, went 6-9, and looked pretty sharp. But he looked a lot like the BYU quarterback today against the Packers. He wore out Tyler Kroft, who scored those 2 touchdowns, as you see here. He was efficient. He moved well in the pocket. He made good decisions. He got rid of the ball on time. He didn't leave his wide receivers out to dry. All the things you want to see a rookie quarterback do as he progresses through the preseason. And there's no bad things to say about it. Still, last week, there wasn't a whole lot to say. He did a decent job. Wasn't out there very long. This week was different, and there are a lot of positives to take away from that. And that's exactly what you want as a Jets fan, who's, by the way, had a long history with Sam Darnold. Didn't work out too well. Mark Sanchez before that didn't work out too well. So perhaps this is a step in the right direction. Can you put too much into the preseason? No, you probably can't, but at least they're positive. There are no red flags. He's not air-mailing balls. He's not throwing terrible interceptions. He's not taking needless sacks. So all in all, a really, really good performance for the second game of Zach Wilson's preseason career.
Completed passes to 6 different receivers on Saturday. All right, let's move to Miami. And with an abundance of weapons at his disposal, second-year Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa primed to take the next step in his career. 6-3 as a starter last season, 11 touchdowns, 5 picks, a season removed from having hip surgery. Saturday night started 8 for 8, finished 16 of 23, 183 yards and a touchdown in 1/2 against the Falcons. Ryan, what stood out to you, and what does a game like this mean for Tua?
For the second straight week, Akeem, it's been arm strength, which is something we had a lot of issues with last year. You can trace that back to the hip, no doubt. You just mentioned that the hip is stronger. He looks stronger. He's moving well in the pocket. He's doing a lot of the things that we saw him do in Alabama before that injury. He'll shift his shoulders, look downfield, hit a guy in stride. He's incredibly accurate, and then allow for the yards after the catch. That's how he scored that touchdown to Myles Gaskin there. Gets the ball out quickly. We didn't see him to push the ball down the field as much this week as he showed he was capable of last week, but that'll come. And again, they're not scheming anything. They're just going out there to see what they have. Positive signs for Tua, and I would imagine this is a huge sigh of relief for Brian Flores to coach, because there was probably plenty of conversation after the season about whether they should use some of those draft picks. They had 2 first-round picks at one point to look into the quarterback situation, because the five quarterbacks that went in round 1. No need to worry about that now. Tua looks to be sharp and getting sharper, and you want to go in that direction as the season comes upon us here in a few weeks. So I've been impressed with Tua, and I'm happy for the kid. He had a tough season last season, bounced back, and I think it does a lot for his confidence more than anything else.
All right, from a youngster to a veteran, and the last time we saw Ben Roethlisberger, he was crying on the sideline after losing to the Browns in the playoffs. I've been waiting to say that all night. Saturday night, making his preseason debut, played 3 series, 8 of 10, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns to rookie tight end Pat Freiermuth. Big Ben working with the new offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. Look, he looked great. Ryan, did the 39-year-old future Hall of Famer, what I thought, did he look like he was playing with something to prove?
Yeah, I don't know, Keeman. I'm not laughing at an old man crying because I'm old and I cry all the time. I'm laughing because you got to get that jab in, and I love that you got to get that in. But here's the thing. Every offseason we talk about Ben Roethlisberger coming to training camp and looking to be in the best shape of his life. And every October he looks like the chubby guy that we expect him to be by the time the season's over. So we're just going through the process here. But he looked great in this preseason game. Also worth noting, the Lions, and no disrespect to our producer Jesse, the Lions are terrible. And they might be worse than the Texans. They did not show up for this game. I love Dan Campbell, but the football players right now aren't very good. That said, Roethlisberger took what he had. He made the 2 touchdown passes to the rookie tight end, the 2nd-round pick, Pat Freiermuth. We saw what Deontay Johnson did. We saw Juju Smith-Schuster get involved. We saw Najee Harris get involved. And perhaps more importantly, Hakeem, is that the offensive line, the starters got to play together for the first time, and they look pretty good. And that's going to be the biggest question mark. The second biggest, of course, is Roethlisberger and his arm. But I think the O-line playing well is probably the biggest takeaway, and Roethlisberger clearly appreciated having that protection.
Well, Big Ben was a winner on Saturday.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.